Okay. Yeah, so today we're going to try out a little bit of a live stream. See how it works exactly. Okay, good. Then since you can hear, let's go with it now. Let's see. You have anything in specific you want to see at the moment, or I can just go about doing anything I want. Okay. Uh, let's see. Let's start with the reading for now. Okay, so basically I go in with a template of something I already had. So like you see here, like my drums and everything already set. My master is here, but I disabled a few plugins like the vitamin, ozone, because those plugins have latency, so the audio will be a little bit behind time compare. When I play, I'll be a little bit off compared to what you hear. Let's start with the bones. When I mean the bones, that is like the the essential foundation plugins. So like cowbell, this kind of stuff. So the cowbell basically usually the same. Like most of the times you have two types of cowbell, which would be either this one. You can tweak it up a little. It would be either this cowbell, or old school days would have that kind of cowbell. But I tend to use that one with a little bit of a tweak here. Should be this ending. Next step is my maracas. Well, what I use a lot of my hotkeys. So like what I do in basically like I duplicating. So how the duplication works? If I have that, once I do Control B, it just gives me exactly what was there initially at the time. So I just Control B, Control B, Control B, and it continues. Then copy and paste this. Whatever you have selected there at the time, that's what it will take. So if I put that here to copy what is in the cowbell. So put it here, Control C, down here, Control V, copy and paste. No, because my maraca and the cabasa is basically like the same technically. I like to pan them one left, one right, so it wouldn't be too noisy or take out too much frequencies. So initially, that's my this this is what my bones are. That's basically the bones. There's a loop. I can either use that loop or let's see. Let's try this for now. I'll use one of my loops instead. Now, as I said, that's a template, so like I have the drums already here. So I'll pick up the drums most of the times instead of like doing a whole new drum set every time. Since Bouyon drums already change. But now that we have that, let's move on to the next step of our rhythm. What key should we work in? What key? What key should I work in today? Okay, let's try D. Get that drums out for now. So we're working in the key of D. D minor to be precise. So we are D, C. D sharp, like I remember in one of the videos that I use C and I use C sharp. And I said that I'll explain it a little bit better later down. The reason for using, like in this case, like if I transpose now, that D sharp would be C sharp basically. So the reason I use this is because there are two types of minors basically, melodic minor and harmonic minor. And D sharp falls into key according to which minor scale you use. So basically it's like right now I'm using like a mixture of harmonic minor and melodic minor at the same time. So that is the reason for using D sharp. So basically like, let's just say to be precise that whatever you do, like whatever minor key you use, if you're doing like, I can't say for other genres, but for when I do in my Bouyon, whatever minor key I use, I relatively able to use the key right above the note right above that root key. So if I in C, I can use C sharp. If I in D, I can use D sharp. Okay, now that's what I meant like last time. Like as I said, samples just be off key, like they are different root keys. So now I play in D, and my root key of D would be in F for the sample. So I just So the root note of that is actually in A. So if you change the root note of whatever sample you're working in, it will just put everything back on key. So once I change the root note of that sample to exactly what it is, everything else will fall back on the proper key that it's supposed to be in. So C would be C, D would be D, E would be E. But the moment that the root key is different, everything else is going to be all over the place. So you'd find C on F, G on probably B, like different kind of things. So in my case, like sometimes I don't really change it. Like I'll just like Once I find where it is, like I in D minor. If D minor is on F, once I know it on F, I just working in the F minor scale. Sometimes I would switch it over to make D be D as D and those kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. So for ColtonT, let me try to explain it a little bit more. That's a bit clearer, to be precise. Basically, you know, on your piano you are from C to B, but everything in key. So it just like you transposing on your piano. So if I transpose on my piano, I change in C to D, and I change in the note onto a different key. So instead of having C on C, I would put C on E. I could put C on F. I could put C on B, and the whole set of keys would actually change because once I transpose, everything transposes along with it. So in the case of that sample, the root note is on A. So like the frequency at the time it got recorded, or like whoever that made the sample, like in my case, I didn't set it to be on C for the root note. So the root note is A. So right now, if I have it like normal, where I set the root note as C, once I play C, I actually play in A. So I play in C realistically, but in actuality, I play in A because that is where the root note set. So right now, I have to set back the root note to what it is, which is A. So as soon as I set back the root note to A, everything back on key. So you see now I play in D, I get in the actual D. But if I take it out like that, it off key, and I have to go to F to get it back on key. So I want to play D, but I have to play F to get D because the sample is the root key of the sample is in A. It's somewhere else than in C. So once I switch the root note to what the root note is supposed to be, A, then I can get D on D. Otherwise, I'd have to go somewhere else to find D. So that's where like sometimes like you might see me playing up with a sample for a while until I stop somewhere. And that's another reason why I would use like the rock guitar. As I said, like I originally know that the rock guitar is off tune and it would be like on F. So once I switch it back on key, I can use the rock guitar to actually find the key of what I want to do. It's similar as using a bass or a piano, like when musicians tune in their instrument. So that is one of the reasons why I use the rock guitar some of the times. But I'm not using the rock guitar now. But the thing is now, like these samples, they on key. Like you see, I already have it there. Like this sample by default, the root note is C sharp, but I already set it like that. So now D is D, A is A, and so on. So once I already have other samples, like other songs that can let me know, like, yo, you on key, you off key, you in key, then I can just move forward with it. So I don't really need the rock guitar in this instance. But the rest, you need the rest. Like you need something to just set you on point. Even if it's a bass, you can use. But yeah, I guess you guys get it now. If you're still like kind of confused, just let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can explain it a little bit more. But let's continue. Okay, so no, I want this here. But let's try a different patterning. Another thing I do, like I like to quantize sometimes. So like you see this was like this. I'd quantize it, Control and Q, to just make sure that it's set properly. So if I do my duplication, everything will fall in line. Else, like some things might fall out of line and then everything just going to be crazy. But that's just because I like to use my shortcuts. You don't must do it. Ah, I don't know why doing all that extra. You see, like in my playlist, it kind of set to like be like this. So I don't need to do the extra. It's set to 8 bars here. Well, FL shows it as 3 bars basically, like 2 bars, yeah. FL shows it as 2 bars. 1, 2. But you can count it as like different things basically. Yeah, it's 2 bars. That's my error. I think I need to sleep. So you can leave it like this, or you can try and do like a little tweak to like make a little ear difference, because like you probably don't want the same song all the time. So I get in that same thing. Sometimes what I like to do, as I duplicate it like this, instead of like changing that whole part, I would just like probably like just take out one thing. Sometimes probably the starting. And maybe let's say we want to move that down here. So you see, you're not changing the whole thing, you're just changing like the starting, like in that one area there, like just that area there. Change one little thing, or like just change up something in that area just to like give it like a slight difference, a slight, like anything that will make it sound a little bit different, but not too much. Because at the end of the day, you still want that constant melody, something that just stays, you need it to stay constant in your head. Okay. So I don't really like the excess still. Like all that, like once that stop, like you hear it still goes. Basically it comes into the other part. I just want to like shorten the tail of the sample sound. Make it a little bit sharper. Yeah. So it's nice and sharp. That sounds a lot better to me. I'm not sure, like, it will sound different for you. Like, as I said, like, sometimes the rhythm making is, like, subjective to the person. Let's try something a little bit crazy. Okay, so I like that, but I want it to come back again. But this time, as I said, the slight difference. So like here, I use like D sharp. Now I want to go down to D here. Like just this slight difference, the same pattern, but that little difference. It not much of a big difference, and probably like your ears might not perceive it as great, but like your ears actually realizes this slight difference, like no matter how minor. it does sound in that beat like how would you say it does sound in like a drastic change, and like you realize it's not a drastic change like inwardly, but you you acknowledge the slight difference in sound. Now let's go for some more tunes. So basically we have like, I guess we'd use this as our lead tune. So let's make sure it stands out a little bit more. Another thing I like to do, you see here in this setting, pre-computed effects, there's this stereo delay setting. It's like I use it like a Hass effect. So I would come here and I'd like juice it up to like probably like 9% or 12. And you see it's like the sample sounds a lot more rich, a lot wider, and its presence a lot more known because of what the Hass effect does. Like it separates the signal slightly by like a few milliseconds. So like your left ears and your right ears, you're in the same signal, but one a little bit more behind. So to you, you perceive it as amplitude in volume, and you get that stereo with that is the effect of the stereo if compared to a mono song. Like the wider song is, like the more it will stand out to you a little bit. So even like for what I pan right now, like just because like one is on it's on one side entirely, you might acknowledge it a lot quicker than you'll acknowledge other samples just because it pan to one side. So like your ears would be like, yo, I ain't that, I ain't that, I ain't that, I ain't that there on that side alone. Yeah, so like everything else, you just ignore everything else, no matter even if everything else loud. But that one little thing that low, but it's just on one side of your ears, like you do it on the other side of it, on the other ears, your ears just gonna be like, yo, you do hear in that, man. My brother, you do hear in that, man. Like literally. Ah, nice, yeah. So can't see you, you're on point. You're on point. Doing keyboard by ear. Yeah, same thing for me. Like I like only now I like kind of learning music theory because like I doing a lot of different genres, like orchestra and kind of stuff there. So like yeah, I picking up on the music theory, but like all my like I was playing music before I even knew, I haven't considered music theory. I was making rhythms. Like honestly, when I started making rhythms, I was just putting things like wherever, and like I had no understanding of like knowing like in key and everything. I didn't know anything about that because I didn't like music theory, and at the time I did it in school. Oh my god, I had no interest in that. It's just later I just end up being like, yo, I just end up getting into music, becoming a musician, and that's how it worked. So yeah, because of time, like we don't want to go as like I want to try and see if I can get that like under 45 minutes. So we will not use much in the case of like the rhythm aspect. Like I could make a rhythm with like 30 samples or 30 samples or more. But let's just use like that amount. Like for now, like that's enough for the rhythm actually. But like let me see if I can do a little bit extra. Extension. What did I have in that again? Okay, let's use that. A sample I'm not going to be using. I don't use this. So I might as well just drop it on there. Now another thing you can do is like play up with the sample. So like you see like the start time, like that's the original song, but Like you can change up the start time, the end time, like different things, and just like make the sample a little bit more different, a little bit more unique. So I like all that songs. Okay, so this is off key. Yeah, root key is on D. So let's go with that. I want to pan this a little bit to the left. Usually I would go like, for my panning, like if I want to do a minor panning, I'd use like up to like 15. So like sometimes like I would use like 15% panning on like my hi-hats. Like you see, like look it right there now. Yeah, so like it's on 20 right now, as you can see up there. Like you can see the different information settings. So like anything I hover over, you see, like right on top there, you see like panning 20% right and stuff like that. So you can use that to like assess a couple things like when I doing whatever. Now I kind of crazy. Yeah, I kind of crazy. So I'm a good man. I'm not sure if I'm a good mentor. Because like, yeah, snare is not something you're supposed to pan. Like literally, you're not supposed to pan your snare. But yeah, because I crazy, I pan my snare a little bit to the left, but like by 5%, you check. Because you don't just need to be like all the way over so. But it's like, just a little bit more oomph. I get a little bit of pan. Yeah, I get a little, just a little bit. Not too much. Because they can say you're crazy. And if you pan all the way like left for your snare, don't come back and say you see me panning my snare on the left. Because I pan it by 5%. And I surely well know that in this live, I just said that I'm crazy. Do not do this if you don't have to. If you do it, it's at your own risk. You check? Yeah. But remember, I tell you on this live, I crazy. Do not follow my steps. Follow at your own risk. Don't come back and say you see me doing it here. No, I'm not sure if you're using headphones, but if you're using headphones, or you can probably just hear that sample that we just added, just sticking out on the left side. So let's copy that, and I can put it back center, and hear it. Like it there, you can hear it there, but I can assure you that you just listening to it, but you don't really like acknowledging it there. So just pan that a little bit to the side, like, and boom. Like everything just in your ears. Ah, Bryce, what's good, bro? Big up, big up. DJ Bryce, another big man in the vibes. I think, yeah, like, Bryce started working with all them guys around before I even decided to like work with different artists, like, at the time, I think I was like more concerned on like working with like bands, so I was with like Triple K and stuff like that. And then it's after I checked, like, okay, let me work with a couple little artists, but I never really focused as much on artists. Yeah, man, idea, hey, Bryce. I was surprised you're there logged in. I check in, you're probably in work or something like that. Like, yeah, after 2, I check in everybody in work. People like me, I inside my house, they're live streaming on also. Everybody else in work. Yeah, you see? So the man go from artist to band and then back to artist. I start the whole different way. I start with band. You check? It's actually that's why I started. It's like at the time, like, yeah, big up to my bandage one time, yeah? Because at the time I get to know about FL is a partner of mine that showed it to me, but I didn't really know much about it. I didn't even start with Bouyon. Like I just see the man like making R&B and stuff, and I'm checking like, why is that? The man give me the program. He tell me like, try it. When I stop use it. Then about a year or two later, I get back the program again, and I check like, let me try a thing. I didn't add samples. I remember I know Ajmal because he's Potter's video check, and I know his father like in music and things. I say like, let me check Ajmal for a couple samples. I get samples. Then we start working on two things together, and we check like how we start a band. We started Danger band. We start doing rhythms and thing. And I check like, let me try a thing. I pitch one rhythm to Triple K. That was in like 2014 or 2015. That was Step, Make Way for the Blue. That was the first rhythm I actually got out. So that was like the first rhythm I actually got out, and yeah, from there just continued to like today. Okay, so we have our basic rhythm down. Let's go to like the creation of our instrument. So I like to start it hype, and as you can see, the name is the drop. So I like to start it hype. So let's just start with like a root. Like we don't play no chords. We just go in like instant root. Damn! You mean I did all this and I did the record? Oh shit. I remember what happened. It was set to audio recording. It's supposed to be on notes and automation. Damn. This shit happens. Okay, so I recorded on my keyboard. So this is basically what we have. So let's just get that inside the line. Sometimes it's good to quantize, sometimes it's not. Like, it does take away a little bit of realism from the instruments. But like in this case, like I'll quantize that shit. Like I don't need that to like be as realistic as possible. So we played a little bit of like extended chords, like crazy-ish kind of stuff. As you can see, like I have like 4 different stuff going on here. Let's just get that a little bit so. Like sometimes I just play things and I don't even know what I play sometimes. Like I just play it. That isn't that yeah. As I tell you, I might be a bad example as a mentor. Yeah, I made Step. That was like the first rhythm I actually like gave out to a band. And that's the first thing I ever did for Triple K. And then it just continued. But I make like a whole ton of different stuff, man. What was the recent thing I made? Yeah, I know it's the recent thing I made, but yeah, let's just leave it as that. Let's just leave it as that. I don't want YouTube to I'm not sure what I allowed to say on YouTube and what I'm not allowed to say. I mean I've seen fellas saying some kind of crazy stuff, but like yeah, let me not try and get any flag in, cause yeah. Let's just leave it as that. Okay, so because it's like a drop and we want more of the hype, we'll just go with like a 1 drop for the piano. Copy and paste. That's all we want from our piano, honestly. DJ CM, what's happening, bro? Yeah, no, I remember like I'm not sure if you saw this video, but my MIDI out is actually just feeding my bass right here. And it's because if I play the bass now, that's what I get in, but if I play the MIDI, it goes an octave lower. So I play in the same note, but just a different octave. So like you see, my MIDI, I set my MIDI root note to C6 just to get the octave lower, so I don't have to like transpose or like change octave on my keyboard. Like just the lazy way around things, honestly. Laziness is the key to innovation. That's my belief. So let's get that in there. Okay, now because I have two pianos, well, not two pianos, two guitars. Something I like to do, like I like to pan one of them. But let's just see for my piano itself. Where do I have my piano? Okay, so I have my piano to the left. To the right, sorry. I have one guitar pan already. As the rock. Let's see if we can get a little bit more to the left. 50%. The wah. Yeah, the wah is on this side as well. So I like to like put my guitar and my piano on like different panning areas. So let's choose that a little bit more to the right. Yeah, so they wouldn't clash with each other. And that brings me to something that I came across last night, because like we have like a minor group chat like with like some DJs and artists and whatnot around, and they would like send things inside there for feedback. So like a guy sent something, and like when he sent it, I gave him a little bit of reviews based on his audio, and it was more or less like mixing and stuff. Like I told him like, yo, like do this and that and that, and that was one of the things like he said like basically. Like when you make Bouyon, you do like how it does sound clustered sometimes. And I just tell him like sometimes it might be clustering to you because you're utilizing different techniques, which is stereo, fill, and mono, and panning. If you pan things, like things will be a lot more clear to you. So like I have all this going on right here. All of them in the same area basically, but it does sounding clustered because of the panning. Everything taking up its own space. So a good thing to use is panning, honestly. Panning can make a whole lot of difference to anything you do. Yeah, like honestly, bryce, like a lot of those guys, they just do things like in the center. Like they just create and they don't utilize these techniques. So that is like I just really wonder sometimes. Because like even in Riddims, like I would hear a couple Riddims, like you hear the Riddims live. So like Triple K would play a live, I listen to the live. I would hear one Riddim. And when I hear that Riddim, the Riddim there, like the mix there and everything, like it on the drums, it on the vocals, like the live, like the live mix how they want it to mix. But then as soon as another in come in, like for instance, a rhythm of mine might come in and I'll hear it a lot more just because of the panning. So it would stand out. It would stand out a little bit more compared to how the others would sound underneath. That's why I doesn't know, like, yo, Mr. all them samples was in the center. Like them samples didn't pan anything like that. And just because like a few of my samples pan, like they would just pop out in the live. Yeah, there was the everything low, especially the rhythm. The rhythm especially like, yo, like my brother, we I know you want to hear the rhythm because like to all you like Bouyon is the rhythm. Is the kick drum and the rhythm. Like we don't worry about this now, we don't worry about the hi-hats. We just want to hear the rhythm and the kick. But that's not everything it is to it, actually. You have to mix reasonable, you check? Yeah, it's because of the panning, honestly, bro. Like I might open a few projects and like show it to you guys, and like I probably have like 30 samples running in like one thing, and then everybody would wonder like, my brother, how you use all them samples? You seen you have too much samples, and then they would realize like it not sounding noisy just because like you pan something or you adjust the volume level different. But like them guys, like they have everything all over the place. I mean, I had that situation like when I just start. So as I tell them, like sometimes you might think a man criticizing your work, but it's constructive criticism because we actually go for it. We work for years with artists, and as we work in with artists, bands, wherever we develop. You check like our songs start to change until to the point that we there. So like we don't really having them issues again. Yeah, I like that bass line. Yeah, I like straight bass nice, but I like to bubble on bass. Yeah, yeah, I like to bubble on bass, especially for my uptones. Yeah, just use that scale. Just drive on that scale. I sorry, it's rock music I don't listen to. No, yo, like we can do whatever we want here, because that is basically like where the artist is going to, where the intention is for the artist to sing here. So let's get some chords here. Okay, yeah, I like that. Mm, it's not that I played a while ago, yeah, but I think that song's good. Okay, let's go with what I played a while ago. So chords for me is D minor, C major, A minor, and A sharp major. And let's just quantize that. Yeah, different kinds of quantize. Yeah, you can change your settings. In my case, I would just use like start quantize. Let me see if I can get this idea for you. Yeah. So you see, quick quantize start times, and that's because like I don't want like if you use like the other quantize, it's going to quantize everything. The note lengths, everything going to quantize. The starting, the end of the notes, but I don't want that to quantize. I just want like the starting points to get quantized. Like, at the end of the day, like the note length is kind of like adds to the realism. So even if like you quantize the start points, you still have a bit of realism because you don't quantize your ending time or your volume velocities. So see my volume velocity right there, still the same. It's only my start time. For the piano, yeah, the piano is nice. The piano is actually from Expand. It's the natural grand piano set preset, so you can check it out. Otherwise, processing wise, my processing is actually, yeah, it's parametric. It's the FL Stock plugin. I don't really use it that much, but like on piano, like I don't really have a problem using for the piano. So I choose that up a lot in the high ends because the natural song is very, very, very deep. So there's a natural song without the EQ, and as soon as I put the EQ on, Getting that high end just to like cut through. Compressor, I just have like a minor compressor on it. It's just like just to help with the velocity, the realism. Like don't make things peek out like when it shouldn't. This is what I was talking about, the harsh effect earlier. So this. Yo, the piano songs right now, like because I have it pan to the right. Like let me see if I can reduce take on my pan in a bit. That's all the piano songs. Now as soon as I put the ass on it, stereo effect. So you see, that's why I was saying like, you see, here's the delay, like 0, 0, 0 delay on the left side. So like exactly what I play, when it comes in, it comes through. And on the right side, I have like a 12 millisecond delay, which makes the audio come in a little bit later. And that is what I create in the stereo effect. That's the Haas effect. So right now, my piano sounds very wide. And it's actually, the volume does not increase, it just sounds wide. And then with that, I still add like my little bit of panning. I don't most do the panning because of the stereo effect, but like as I said, like I want my piano a little bit more on the right side than on the left side. I will reduce some of the gain here on the left side on the Haas effect. But it keeps it in that stereo feel, because if I take out the Haas effect, it's a little bit more upfront and not as stereo as I want it to be. And then I have a fruity send on there, and I feed in like negative 18.4 dBs into Valhalla Massive. It's a custom preset basically. So it's under my name. So without it, sharp with the reverb on. It lies down. It's like it just lies down in the background. Yeah, that's another thing you guys can do. Like use reverb to like get your mix just gel together. That's one of the main effects of reverb actually, to just get everything like to just lie down. Okay, so I like that synth. Quick quantize the start times again. Sometimes some things might go off, so it's your job to put them back on. Yeah, and we add that. No, I just copy and paste that. Okay, so for copy and paste, quick setting, hold control, right click and just highlight like normal setting for like Windows. And then hold on your left shift, right click, and then once you right click, it basically just duplicates whatever that highlighted at the moment, and you just drag it across and then you release it. So that's what I do here. Left shift, click, drag. So it doesn't move the original file, but it creates a copy of it. Okay, now the reason I have two pianos, that's Purity First Impression. This one has like, as you can see, piano, EP, Vox pad. The purpose of that one is like just to be like a sustenance in the background. So we can just build it from here. So it's just going to keep my chords all throughout. But the purpose of it is not to be loud. So it's kind of actually like low. Like you see, like here. Sometimes I try not to like adjust my faders too much. So like I would have fruity balancer, and I just adjust the volumes here. So my fader would look like it's the same, but it's because I using fruity balancer to adjust my volumes instead of using the fader. So yeah, I have that very low. It's just because like it's just to like just keep the chords. Okay, so once we have that, let's get some bass line in. Okay. So that's what I played. Now let's just... I'm not a piano professional, yeah, so I will have things like off key and whatnot. I'll just adjust them after that. So I wouldn't really worry about it at the time I'm making it, and just make the changes after. No, because I had a little space in there. Let me just add something. No, that VST I'm using, like it has like pre-set up stuff here. Yeah, so I'll use that side. Okay. Take note that B is actually not in the key of what we're using. So B is not part of D minor, but you can treat it as a passing note just because you're going down into A sharp, which is part of the key of D. Yeah, and that's how we have like everything else in key except for B. B is a passing note, so I'm using that passing note twice, but it's because I go into the next key. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We can either copy and paste the same thing. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll copy and paste the same thing here, but the difference will be the bass line. Where to set it? So let's go with that. So as you can see, like as I tell you, I'm not a professional keyboardist, so I myself have errors. Okay, so we could leave it on D because it's still in the key, but we actually playing the A sharp, the A minor chord at that moment. So the reason I move it up to E is to get it to sound a little bit more in tune. But you could leave it on D because it's still within the same family. But to me, just sounds a little bit better on the E. So now we have our bass formulated. It's just copy and paste, bring it back here again. I like a little bit of a like drive down on my bass line. That song's a little bit too long. Let's shorten it a little bit. Yeah, that song's better. So that's what we have for our next part. The next thing, let's add a little bit of the rock guitar here, just to like give it a little bit of a slight difference. Yeah, so let's move with that. Okay, so this is actually like D, but in the first inversion. And let's just get that to drag out throughout the section of D. In this area, we have C, A, and A sharp. So we're just dragging out that D in the area. I think we could also do that here as well. Let's add it in the A section as well. Now we adjust the notes to suit A again. This time it's in the second inversion or the third one, I believe. Yeah, I think that's the third inversion. Nah, I think it's second. Well, yeah, I think it's the second inversion. So it's A in the second inversion. If I'm wrong, it's the third one of them. I not it nenen. Neither it power. So that's what we have. Next step. So we have basically the pre-chorus now. So if the artist sings, he would sing for like those 16 bars. And then next part, we can either do something for a little bit more chords again, or we can just make like a semi-drop. Or you can like use modulation and like change up what goes there. So like, let's try that. Let's try modulating. So let's just change the key of our rhythm actually. So for here, make that unique. And then go into here. Let's transpose to we in D. Let's transpose to C. So -2 semitones. Let's put on our rhythm now. Let's get some bass line inside, yeah. Yeah, that sounds nice. And then once we finish it, we're going straight back up to D. Get that in again. I swear. I ain't crackling. If you guys hearing it too, it's not my fault. When you try and stream and have high class plugins at the same time. It's mainly because of this. This is the fella right here. Fab filter. But I refuse to put it off because everything just gonna go a lot lower. Yeah, like some people tell like not to create with like limiters on. But once my limiter set, like I actually know what I wanted to sound like at the end of my limiter. So if you know like what you wanted to sound like, you can use your limiter. Okay, so if you know what you're drawing in, then no problem. If you don't know what you're drawing in, I would advise that you just do it from like plating. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so that's what we have. And now, let's take out that bass drop and let's do a drop in. Like, honestly, a lot of my things you'll hear that because I just like to do that little setup. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. And we're good to go. Okay, so after our chords, we have the chord change, the modulation, key change. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a Riddim here for that part, for the chord change, for the key change. What sample do we use? Okay, let's use that as our main sample. Okay, so let's go on the pattern still, because we just want to work on that Riddim. Let's try this. And let's get another tone to layer on that. Duplicate this. Put that up there so we get in a high and a low. Drop that in the center. Okay. So yeah, we got that. Let's see how it sounds now. As if I feeling like, yeah, let me try another layer in again. Like, layer, like, guys, just layer things, like, get that different tone, like, layer. You'd be surprised the amount of difference layering can do. There's this one rhythm that I have to do a behind the curtain for, and you see why stressing importance on layering. You know that rhythm, carnival is rhythm, carnival is chant, carnival is session, find your position. Yeah, for that rhythm, I will show you that rhythm behind the behind the curtain series, and then I'll show you guys the different layerings I used to make the songs that I had for that rhythm. And then you understand layering, because like some of the tones that I use is samples, like there is samples like you guys know about or you see in it, but or you might never think of just layering them samples there to like just do something different. Okay, so this is off key. Let's drop it down. Drop it down by 4. Like automatically, once you know how much you have to go down by, so I know it was in D sharp. D sharp is like 3 semitones up. I just drop it down by 3 semitones and set it back on the proper key. Let's get that same pattern going here and see how it sounds. But let's make it cut itself. Change the sound. Yeah, that sounds a little bit nice. But it have too much high ends, I find. So you can also cut high ends here instead of using like a EQ. And let's drop a reverb on this. Yeah, and just your lead sample now, just because of layering, like the tone just completely changed. And it's just because of these 3 things. Just tweaking these 3 things alone does the work. Like these. So let's hear all it tone by itself. Yeah, that's what we have. Let's go back into this. Yeah, I feel like we should add something here as well. So make that unique. Duplicate it again and let's go into this. What am I hearing here for this? Wait, what we do? We use the wrong thing. Go back here. Unlock. And yeah, you make unique. I kind of behind something. Let me see if I can get it down. Let's try that. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like what we're going for. That's off key. Yeah, so guys, sometimes like I just place things in places like off my head and let's just go. So that's one of my creative bubbles actually. Yeah, so that's some of the ways I get things done. Like I just place it down and then I would play it and hear its songs. I would not think like a lot of times like sometimes you might get the idea and then you would work on the idea, but sometimes you might not have the idea and you just do everything from scratch. So in my case, that's what I do. I just come, I just place things like based on the scale. So if I know I in D, I just use in whatever in the in the D scale and let's go with it. After that, I'll play it through. Sometimes I don't even care about what it sounds like after I play it. I just leave it there because especially if it's like a background sample. If it's a background sample, I would not worry too much about the sound of it. Because at the end of the day, like all the samples going to come in and mesh in and the song just going to sound different. So that's like yeah, that's like a me thing. Like I'll just place things down and let's just go with it. I don't advise it, but that's just me and it works. Like let's get that tune as well. But what I want to do now, let's duplicate this sample. Let's clone it. And let's try something crazy. Let's put that in the relative scale. So yeah, we take it out in D and we put it in A. That's what we have. That's the background sample. Okay, so that I don't really want it loud right now. So let's bring down the velocity. So right there, our lead sample just turned into a background sample. Just with the velocity change. So it's like, instead of removing it completely, you just put it as a background sample to just like fill up the little space, the little areas, the little gaps. But you do eliminating it completely. So that's another thing I do a lot. So I don't remove my lead samples, but either I do the same clone, I make a unique sample itself and I put it there and then I adjust the volume, or I just do it in the velocity. So without the leads. You see it there, but it's so low, it's like you don't really acknowledging that it's there. It's 70% as a background sample now. So it just meshing with all the other tones, all the other background samples, and just make like one nice little foundation for everything else to sit down on top of. Yeah. So let's go back from here. As I said, we're using a template, so basically these things are like here already. So like if I want like a difference, like I already have the pattern set there already, but I don't want that difference. So let's just remove the rest. I just want that to just repeat. Let's see if we get something inside here. Like a leads or something. Let me see if I can make something off my head first. Let's see what we have now. Okay, so I think we have a nice lead here now. Let's just duplicate that. Let's see how we're going to sound on a higher octave. Nah, the low octave better. And let's just get that to play once. Get another tone there to layer on that. I like to do like a little bit of a one drop like here. Let's try that. Let's take out the tone and yeah, just see how it sounds. So that's the song of it, but we don't need it too loud. Gross, what's the word? And Skyo, I'm not sure if Skyo's still there, no? But I see you tuned in earlier. Okay, so my leads, I find it a little bit too upfront. Sakura. What did I do with you? Did I choose you inside here? No. Doesn't look that way. Let me get you inside here. Yeah, I don't really like them tunes to be too sharp in my ears, man. Like them thing does hurt. Especially when it's a man like me that have headphones on from time morning to night time. You mad. Let's hear that song you know. It's called Unwanted Frequencies. Give like this amount of low cut. And let's drop down that high shelf. But it's a little bit too deep, so let's use a bell instead. And take out some in the lower register to let it sound a little bit more thin. Yeah, that sounds better. And just a little bit more the reverb for it to just sit down inside. Bryce not leaning, my brother. The man not leaning. He not leaning. Right. Okay. So let's get that out of the way. Boy, don't correct Mr. English boy. Mr. Tell you madness there. Mr. Tell you if you lean in. Lean in. Don't correct Mr. English for him. Right. That not online high school class, you know, my brother. That is online Bouyon class. Not even a class, it's a stream. Don't blame the iPhone. iPhone is apparently iPhone is the best brand available. So not the iPhone that do anything. Okay, so you see that? Madness. It's still overflowing. Yeah, right there. So let's just cut that out. And then I can duplicate at ease. Like a boss. You check? Let's get rid of it there as well. Oh no, it shouldn't be there. But just in case. Hey bro, I see you logging there. I good. You safe? You have a kind of mad kind of name there. TC what? My brother, you on your phone. Yeah. How I supposed to pronounce that now? Like if I have to pronounce that, I just gotta process letters. Okay, so now basically we have like two verses. Like we have our structure set with the two verses, the drop, the chorus, stuff like that. So let's go back inside here, but this time let's switch it up a little. So we're not taking the whole thing again. We're just doing this, like basically making like a breakdown section. What the hell just happened? Yeah. And let's make that unique. And inside there, what we want to do is I like to like just give it like a breakdown. So let's take out the drums. And take out the bubble on the piano and sustain it as well. Take out the synths. Now we want to make a little drum roll to go into the next section. Yeah, so that's what we got. And because we have like little drop down, we can do a little bit more like a solo. Okay, so I go off there a little bit, but that's easy to fix. Okay, so yeah, so we had that. That's always a drop area. And so because we ending, like we had 2 minutes and like 2 minutes and 51 seconds or so. Like that little rhythm section, we can just like duplicate it to like come back again. Yeah, we can just duplicate it to make it come back again. And that would be like how we end. So like usually once I touch once I touch like 3 minutes, like I happy. Sometimes I go like probably like 2 minutes and like 59 or like 49 seconds because you know like some songs get shorter now, but usually my mark for making a beat is like to touch like 3 minutes. Let's get rid of the intro. Yeah, so that's basically it, guys. Uh, for all those viewing, thanks for watching again. Bryce, Cross, DJ Scalone, Didi Joseph, Roses for Life, Leo Tunchi, Dominica's Song System, my guy TC, Jackie Beats, Didi Music, DJ CM, Carl C Jr. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be out again for next one. Not sure when. Probably tomorrow or so. But if you guys like have anything specific you want to like